Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I'm the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm female business leaders with the strategies they need to master the one rule and live life on their terms, a legend life. Have you been enjoying this series? I, personally, have very much enjoyed bringing this to you. And based on the feedback that I'm getting some DMs and some different pieces of information from you all. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the feedback. I always welcome it, but I'm getting feedback that you are absolutely finding value. You are finding value in this. And what I love to do, and my mission personally, I'm going to go off on a tangent for just a second. My mission personally is to help you understand what you should do to be successful in your career and in life, and what you can stop doing. There are tons of things we can do every single day, right? But there's only so many hours in a day. And so what are the key things you must do based on what you want to do in your life? If you want to have an amazing career, if you want to make more money and get promotions, while at the same time spending time with your family and enjoying your life every single day, then that's what you've got to figure out how to do. You've got to get rid of all the noise and all the junk and all the things that we think are helping us move forward. And we've got to do what actually moves us forward. And people leadership and understanding the human needs and being able to take our emotional intelligence of reading someone and seeing, are they happy? Are they sad? Are they doing okay? And then understanding where that emotion's coming from. What need are they trying to meet or has not yet been met? Where's that coming from? And understanding that so that we as leaders can positively go in and support those individuals and help them move forward and serve them. And then also, twofold, right? We get two things out of this. We move those people forward. We serve them. We contribute. We meet our need of contribution. And then we also have the time available to us to not be doing everything, to truly add value in the ways that only we can. So then we have the time to go and spend with our families and enjoy life and live, right? So people leadership is one of the three fundamental pillars that allows you to master that one rule, to live life on your terms, and to really meet your human needs. Okay, it all comes in together. Today, we're going to talk about you. We're going to dive in and give you a little bit of understanding about you personally. So while we're talking about people leadership, I'm going to meld this a little bit with a little bit of personal leadership, okay? Because I'm diving in to you and how you work and how you can use this information to the next level. So the first thing I want you to think about is understanding the 6 human needs. You probably have already done it, but if you haven't, I want you to ask yourself, which needs are your top 2? What are your top 2 needs? Now I can tell you that for the majority of humans, the top 2 needs are typically certainty and significance. It's either certainty and then significance or significance and then certainty. It's usually in that order. That's how it is. And maybe that was yours before. And I can tell you in the corporate world, pretty much every person that I've run into, very rarely, but typically those are their top 2 needs. And what I want you to understand is in the very beginning of the month, I had you do that gut check, remember? I had you look in the mirror. I had you ask yourself, how am I leading? Why am I leading the way that I lead? What are the stories that you're telling yourself as to why you lead the way that you lead? And if you looked in the mirror and you were honest with yourself and you came up with the answer that you're leading the way that you lead because truly and honestly you're trying to protect yourself, you need to feel comfortable that you're safe in your career. And you need to feel comfortable that people are seeing you adding the value and bringing in the value. Then what I want you to understand, and the light bulb may have just gone off in this moment, is that you've been leading from a position of certainty and significance. When we're afraid, and we all get afraid from time to time, when we get afraid in our careers, when we're afraid that we're not doing the right thing, that we're not adding the right amount of value, that we're not showing up and being what the company needs us to be. And yet, we've got to hang on to this job for a multitude of reasons. It could be money. It could be that our career and the position that we have and where we sit in the organization really defines us. We take pride in telling people this is where we work and this is what we do. It could be all of those things and something else entirely. It could be something else, not even anything that I listed. But for whatever reason, we have a desire to maintain our career or to grow our careers. And when we're afraid that we're not doing that, we've lost that certainty. When we're fearful, we've lost the certainty piece. We're not meeting our certainty need. And when we're not meeting our certainty need, we start focusing on how do we meet that. Okay? I've also watched, as an aside, that when we start to get uncertain in our personal lives, for example, okay, when individuals have a relationship that's not amazing, right, and they're not getting certainty from their spouse, they seek even more certainty at work because it's a way to meet it, right? But either way, bottom line, no matter what has got you fearful, if you're living in a position of fear in your career, then certainty is driving you. And certainty is going to drive you to take action first, and then you're going to contribute second. Right? If you feel the need to get the recognition, if you want everyone to know that you led that team, that it was your leadership, that you are the one that came up with that idea, then that's significance. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me help you understand before I go any further. There's nothing wrong with needing certainty and significance. Zero. You are human, just like everyone else. I am human, like everyone else. We all have to meet those needs. All I want you to understand is if you're fearful and you're leading and you're needing to meet the need of certainty and or significance first, then you're not really being the servant leader that your team needs you to be. Just want you to think about that. Now that you have the understanding of the human needs, you can step back and go, holy crap. This is how I've been leading. This is who I've been. So then my question for you is if you really need to meet the needs of certainty and significance, higher than anything else, okay, you really are fearful that your career is in jeopardy. And then my question for you is, how do we help you meet that? How do you meet those needs in a way that allows you to also serve your team and contribute to them and lead them from a position of contribution? What does that look like? The step number one is simple awareness. If you're now aware of how you're leading, you're going to be so much more aware of how to better lead your team going forward, and you're going to do it. So awareness is the first thing, and you've got that. But the next thing is intentionality. You must be intentional. And so I want you to show up and think about, how do you want to lead? What does that look like? What type of leader are you? If you're a servant leader, define it. Define servant leadership in your terms. What does contribution look like to you? Are you going to reach out to people? How often are you going to do that? You know, I used to do little things in the corporate world. I would learn the birthdays of every kid within my team, right? So I had people who reported to me and I'd connect with them and build a relationship with them. And of course, naturally, I wanted to learn about their families. And so I would seek to understand, did they have kids or not? And if they did, I'd want to know when the kid's birthday was. And I would sit down and once a week I'd write out birthday cards for any kid that had a birthday that week. And I had, you know, every month I'd sit down and do all this. And a lot of weeks I'd have 2, 3, 4 cards that would go out. But I would send their child a birthday card. Why? Because I wanted them to know they mattered. My team mattered to me. Those people still matter to me. But I wanted them to know. And I wanted, you know, what kid doesn't like to get something in the mail, right? That's the most exciting thing. I got something in the mail. Let me open it, right? And so it's those simple acts. How are you going to lead from a position of service? And if you really are in a position right now where you're truly uncertain, you don't know what actions to take, they're going to help you stay safe in your career. They're going to help you meet your needs. And you really believe that you've got to meet those needs before you can step up and you can show up and you can contribute, right? You've got to. It's a must for you. I'm telling you, send me a message schedule some time on my calendar. Go to the website, legendleaders.com, schedule a no-fee call with me. Let me support you. Do not live in this place. You're a better leader than this. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing I want you to understand is, if you've been living in a position of certainty and significance first, okay, or whatever needs first, you now have the ability, with the knowledge that you have, to change the order of the needs. You're fully capable of that. Now, remember, you're going to meet all 6. It's just the order in which you do it. And you can shake up the order anytime. You can change the order anytime you want to. You're the boss. You get to decide that. So change the order if you want to change the order. Maybe you're tired of living the way that you've been living and you want to shake it up. You want to be a different person. And so you're going to change the order in which you're going to meet the needs. Do it. It's powerful. Define what that looks like. Go and change the order of the needs. Understand too, though, and this is really important, that anyone on your team at any moment can change the order of his or her needs as well. Either they get educated on the needs, or they just have a life change, or something changes in their lives and they make a shift and they decide that they want to do things a little differently. You must be in tune and understand when they've made that shift so that you too can make that shift in your leadership. It's critically important. You can be that leader. You are that leader. It's inside of you. You simply have to decide how you're going to show up, what needs you're trying to meet, the order in which you have them listed. You've got to be really aware of you, and you've got to be really aware of the other people. Go be self-aware. Go be the leader that you can be, that you're meant to be. As always, go and be legendary.